As Carl, sir, you guessed it, we're going to do a video today on Crow. What a surprise, right? It's not like the title helped you discover what we were gonna do a video over. Right. It did. Well, since you're here anyway, this is the Twins team. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because it's a twin team. So basically, the rune set's not all that important. It's rune quality that matters. I mean, you just build them damage, and they can get away with being swift, fatal, bio. I mean, there's sort of the most efficient ways to do, each one of them and where they want to go. All that sort of takes into account. I think Shayna is usually done on Vio. Mine is not, but I do wish that she is, and on next FRR I will fix it. Now, I am going to stop here. You'll notice that my monsters were attacking the left crystal. I believe that taking down the left crystal first is paramount, but then after that you can either go straight for the boss or you can go straight for the right crystal. I have found that my team is more consistent if I go left, right, boss, but it's only a little bit better. Left, boss is also acceptable. So I would just try both. Probably on test is a good idea. You don't want to have to waste your crystals, reviving your team halfway through this. That is better than buying 10 more energy, since that's technically 12. Oof, we just lost Maruna. So the biggest reason this works is because Shayna and Maruna together just soft CC the living crap out of the boss, and he never gets another turn. Thankfully, he wasn't able to kill Crow just now, so I guess the team will go ahead and win. This team usually wins, but Maruna is usually not the one who dies, so usually it's Crow. But either way, you can see it's about a minute and a half clear time. Not great, not terrible. Like I said, my guys are not ruined exceptionally well. I mean, like, the Crow's decent. The Shayna is, I guess I'd say decent as well. My Maruna definitely needs work. I mean, she's got Rage and only has 157% crit damage. Ugh. And then Verde, I just have him 100% crit rate, of course, reasonably fast, and then the fight runes. I like the fight runes. They help. So, that is one team. It's a twin team, and that's why we're not really spending much time on it. This is another team. So, Hua for damage, and then when it comes to the boss level, she'll also drop the attack speed debuff. That buys your team more attacks. Mostly it buys her more attacks, because in this version, Crow and her are your DPS, or DPR. Technically, they're both correct. Either way, her and Crow are going to be your damage units, and the Colleen and Verde are just there to help keep your team alive, basically. But as you'll see right here, the dots can kind of eat through you, so the team has to be able to survive this first wave, which is really annoying. And as long as they all four survive, which they're not going to, maybe, never mind, that heal might have been clutch, we'll find out. But yeah, as long as they all four survive these trash waves, I have seen full success on the boss wave. Oof. So you saw that damage was 17k, right? Keep an eye when he goes to do an attack and he gets a crit, because his damage is a lot more than I realized in the beginning when I first started baking him. I sort of just went with the crowd. I talked to some people I trusted and asked them what they thought the best first monster was. They said Crow, so I went with it. Obviously, I did a little research myself, but I trusted their judgment as well. So, and I am very glad I did. Crow is amazing. I mean, he can drop some serious damage. I'm going to be working him into at least one of my siege teams pretty soon. So, there's that. But, again, we're going to go left. Actually, I'll go left boss this time, just to cut down a little bit on the time. But also so we can see if maybe with this team it is consistent. Because with the other team it wasn't consistent, and that was part of the problem. So we don't have a defense break here. That is certainly a problem. And what I would like to do is replace Colleen with Bella, but we can't do that. So, ooh, here we go. 6 debuffs on the boss. And I didn't get to see how much damage he did. I'll roll back later and see. But either way, I'm sure it was not significant compared to something I've seen him do before. So, This is two teams. Now we're gonna go back really quick, and I'm gonna show you the difference between Crow, unawakened, well, unsecond awakened, and then second awakened. If you already know all this, feel free to skip. This is just going to be a little bit technical. I'm going to try to breeze through it a little bit so it's not terribly long. But then after that, there's not going to be any more content in this video. But if you want to, I would highly suggest, that if you have a few minutes, go watch the next video that I'm going to put out on Crow. I'm going to put that out tonight as well. I may have to remake it tomorrow or something, but I am putting it out tonight right after I'll put this out. It's going to be a learning experience as well, but it's going to be entertaining, I think, anyway. So we're going to have a little fun. So this is the Crow before the second awakening. I'm going to focus on the second and third things here so that we can see the big difference. So team up is now unsecond awakened. He just teams up with an ally. That's it. They attack together. That's not bad, but okay. The third one is attacks the enemy's wounds, and then the damage increases by 50% for each harmful effect on the enemy. So nothing special, just the increased damage per harmful effects. That's actually pretty nice, but, you know, you've got to work a team that can set that up really well without it getting cleansed or without it getting shield healed or, you know, who knows. So we're going to ignore the first ability because that first ability changes slightly. But it's only slightly, so we're ignoring it. The S2, his team up changes significantly. So he still teams up with one other person, but this time he and the other person he's teaming with both get an extra 20% to their damage for every harmful effect the enemy has. So if you haven't put anything on the enemy yet, it doesn't do any extra damage. You've really got to watch out for that whenever you're on auto, because the AI seems to not pay too much attention to how much, how many debuffs they have. They just get it taken care of. Crow, third ability, is the other really nasty one. He attacks, leaves a branding mark for 2 turns, and still has the 50% damage increase for harmful effects. That guy is just nasty. I'm so happy I've made him. I'm going to pull up my record. I'm pretty sure he basically immediately took a couple spots in my record. Oh, chat's not going to work. I hate it. I'll have to restart my game client pretty soon. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to pull up anybody else's information yet. But basically, he can be used in a lot of different places as long as you can escort him along to keep him alive. His base HP and defense after 2A is pretty decent for a damage dealer. I mean, you can see it right here. It's 9,500 and then 626. I mean, for a 108 speed, 770 damage, attack unit, the defense stats along with that are pretty nice. And that's actually a big thing about the 2A stuff in general, is that all their defense stats all their stats, period, except for speed, go up when they're second awakened. I mean, it's a pretty nice increase. So I think I have done a video where I suggest a 2A order. But just in case I haven't, what I would say is Crow is a worthy second or third second awakening, Bella being the first, unless you are at a point in the game where you don't use Bella anymore. And then Crow can be a godsend because of the amount of damage he can do. But yeah, I would say after Bella, as long as you're still using Bella. And then it's sort of a toss-up between him and raoq in my mind anyway. So you've got to kind of decide which one you want to have fun with more, basically. Because I have a rough time really deciding which one's which. So that's it. I'm dropping it here. We're leaving it on this. Go check out the other video. It should be posted within an hour of the drop of this one. So if it's not up yet, just wait a few minutes and then it should pop up soon after that.